What's up, guys? Welcome back to another Febuary stream. Hope you guys are enjoying your early afternoon on this Tuesday, and today we are continuing with our FC26 Newcastle United manager career mode back-to-back FIFA streams. In a bit I'll have a Fortnite and a Roblox stream. Very hot day where I am. It's 30 degrees, so already been outside today. So I thought we'd get the games in. Now, this career mode, I'll play in legendary mode. Sliders are fair. I'm only allowed to buy 2 to 3 players per season. And in my first season, my Newcastle United manager career mode, I bought Ademar Lookman and Mickey van der Ven. Van der Ven, who's been our best defender the whole season. And Ademar Lookman, who's the Premier League and the Champions League top scorer. He has been the best striker in the league. Newcastle, their objective was to win a trophy, whether that's the Carabao Cup or the FA Cup, and get top 4 in the Premier League. We are very, very much overachieving at the moment, just over half through the season in the month of February. We are confirmed Champions League round 16. We are almost effectively in the Carabao Cup final after beating City 3-0 in the first leg. We are second in the Premier League, level or 3 points behind first place Manchester City. And we are in round 4 of the FA Cup after beating Cheltenham last stream in the first game. Now, Newcastle United, every trophy's up for grabs, and they are in the thick, the business end of every single trophy. Now, of course, realistically, their aim is not to win the Premier League or the Champions League. They're just trying to do as good as they can in those competitions, but it does feel by February, if you are in a title race, you really do have to try and nick it. You really do have to try and have good go in it, and that's why Newcastle are. Of course, the Carabao Cup, the last stream was an absolutely wild stream. I'll tell you about it. Newcastle United have not lost a match in all competitions since Premier League match day 2 of the season against Liverpool, where we lost 2-1. We have not lost a single game. We've drawn 6 or 7, but the rest we have won. Newcastle just keep on coming back when they're losing by a goal or two. They score late goals to save themselves. They're the best attack in the league, so they keep on scoring when they need to. And the defending can be resilient at times when they need it to be. As it stands, what happened last stream? Look at that. That's a brilliant. We smashed Cheltenham 5-0 to take us from round 3 to round 4 of the FA Cup. Nothing dramatic there. We beat City in the Carabao Cup leg 1 3-0 at the Etihad, giving us a massive lead for the second leg. So you can almost guarantee us being in the final of that competition. Smashed Wolves 5-1 in the league. We then were 3-1 down against SG in the Champions League group stages. We did get back to 3-3. Lookman was there. It stopped us from losing a game. That was dramatic. Then a 2-1 win against Aston Villa. A very late goal from Ademar Lookman put Newcastle 3 points behind Manchester City in the title race instead of 5. And of course, a 2-1 win against Barcelona in the last group match of the Champions League. An 86th-minute winner by Anthony Elanga after a missed penalty from Robert Lewandowski sended Newcastle through to the Champions League round of 16. Because I played 6 games yesterday, I will only be playing 4, possibly 5 today. I certainly won't be playing 6 again today, but I will have 4 or 5 games to play. We have 3 Premier League matches and a Carabao Cup match. Now, Newcastle United, obviously, as February goes on, they will be getting a round of 16 draw in the Champions League. They will be playing more rounds in the FA Cup. They will be in. So Newcastle just have to keep on going, keep on pushing. It doesn't matter what they're in for a shout, they'll just keep on going. We are in a title race though. You cannot deny that now. In January, 3 points behind City, who are first. We do have a game against Manchester City actually. That'll be next stream. That'll be an absolutely crucial game. That could be one of the biggest games of the season against Manchester City, away from them at the Etihad in the title race. However, we have 3 Premier League games to navigate before that, and they're not easy. So today, we'll start off with a Premier League match away from home at Anfield. The only one of 2 only teams to beat us this season, Liverpool. We will then play against City in the second leg of the Carabao Cup. Newcastle have a 3-0 lead and a home advantage, so you think they should be able to get that easily and play at home. We then have a match against Brentford at home and a match against Spurs away. Both big title race games for Newcastle. And if I feel like it, we'll play round 4 of the FA Cup against Gillingham. The FA Cup and the Carabao Cup, winning those 2 trophies now is the bare minimum for Newcastle. Champions League and Premier League, that's something you couldn't even begin to think we're in. Now, Newcastle United have had quite a few and a fair share of injury problems this season. Anthony Gordon out for an injury. He's out for over 3 months. Of course, he's a month and a half of that has already been, so Anthony Gordon is slowly recovering. He will be back near the end of the season. Same with Fabian Schär, a long injury from him last stream. However, luckily, Jacob Murphy has filled in Gordon's boots well, and Sven Botman has filled in Schär's boots well. We still miss him though. Tino Livramento and Van der Ven got injured temporarily a few streams ago. They were out for most of one stream, but they came back well. And then Bruno Guimaraes last stream got injured in a 4-1 win against Wolves for 2 days. He then came back and played against Aston Villa, but then he got injured against Barcelona. I don't know how long he's out for. I was in a rush last stream. I was in a fine old rush after playing 6 games in incredible fashion. But let's see how long he's injured for. Bruno Guimaraes, who is a crucial player for Newcastle. We can't have another long-term injury. I need to see how long he's out for. Oh, flip. 25 days, so the captain is out for almost a whole month. Flippity, flippity, flip. Botman is suspended as well after getting a red card against Aston Villa shortly before we won that game. So we are a bit light. Newcastle are a bit light. Van der Ven's not going to be able to play this one because of how tired he is. Botman's suspended. Guimaraes is injured. Flip. Schär's going to be out 55 days. Anthony Gordon is going to be back in 30 days' time, though, which is a massive, massive improvement because Anthony Gordon is an absolute crucial player at this football club. He might just miss the Manchester City game, which is a shame, but he will be back for the latter bit of this quarter of the season, which is crucial. The injuries are looking so bad, though. I'm telling you now, Newcastle, I don't know what they're doing in training or how they're training their bodies, but they are getting stumped. That looks very concerning, actually. So our first game is against Liverpool away at Anfield. They are the only 2 teams to beat us in all competitions this season. Over halfway through, that was a 2-1 scoreline. We led 1-0 with 10 minutes to go and kind of bottled it, if I'm being honest, boys. I'm not going to lie to you. It wasn't the best thing ever, was it? I think next season, no matter what happens this season, whether we win a trophy or not, I'd be very disappointed if we couldn't win a trophy this season when we're in a shout for all 4, especially on the brink of being in a final one. But next season, we do want to aim for bigger things, aim for all the trophies if we don't win them this season. We will need a better set-piece taker next season. Let's not doubt that. A better set-piece taker is certainly needed because Newcastle have only scored 2 this season. 1 was a penalty, 1 was a corner. Right, anyway. Well, Guimaraes is out of 25 days. He'll return with Gordon. And that means the man who's been so reliable recently scored 2 against SG, scored 1 against Om to win it. Joe Willock, who isn't a shabby man at all. And Dan Burn, 3rd choice centre-back, will have to play. We'll have a new centre-back pair today with Kieran Trippier alongside as well. Well, we've got good and bad news. The good news is that most of these injuries and suspension will be gone in the next month. Gordon will be back in the next month. Cher will be back in the next month. Botman's suspension only lasts a game or two. And Bruno Guimaraes will be back in less than a month. The bad news is that now 4 of our original 11 are injured and out. Gordon is out instead of Murphy. Guimaraes is out instead of Willock. Botman is suspended instead of Byrne, and Fabian Cher is injured instead of Trippier. So that means Newcastle have a bit of a change team for this game. Joe Willock will start in midfield. Kieran Trippier and Byrne will both start at the back. So after this stream, if you think about it, from next stream onwards, we should be able to get the big boys back. Cher, Gordon, Botman, Guimaraes, they should all be back by next stream, which is really good and very positive. Newcastle can go on a late charge in the season. However, this stream is absolutely massive for Newcastle to navigate because they've had injuries. They've had their fair share of injuries, and without such a good back line and without the guidance of Bruno Guimaraes, the captain, in there, Newcastle have to navigate this really well. They have to rack up their wins in this stream. They still have to get so many they have to try and get near the maximum points despite all the injuries they suffered. If we can just get through this stream, 4 or 5 wins, maybe 3 or 4 wins, then most of these players will be back next stream. Gordon, what a player. Guimaraes, what a player. Botman's on suspension. 3 crucial players. Van der Ven's only gone because he is tired, by the way. Botman and Van der Ven, 2 players that should be in the starting 11, will be back after this game. They're just out because of tiredness and suspension. It's actually only Gordon, Cher and Guimaraes who are actually injured, and they'll be all back in about a month's time, so only 3 long-term injuries. Newcastle United playing away from home at the ferocious ground at Anfield. It's a crucial game, this one, boys. A very crucial game. Liverpool, who aren't quite as much in the title race as Newcastle. Newcastle are 3 points behind Manchester City. And they will have a game against Manchester City some point next stream in the Premier League. So Newcastle feel that they have to win this one. Brentford and the Spurs game this stream. But riddled with injuries, Newcastle have to try and think realistically. Liverpool, one of 2 only teams to beat Newcastle this season. A much changed team since we last played Liverpool, but lots of players in that starting 11 that's still on fine form and players that can help us through the tough times. However, you look at it, Newcastle are in prime position in the league, the Champions League, the Carabao Cup and the FA Cup. But let's focus on the league. They are 3 points behind Manchester City with a game with them next month when 4 out of 5 of my crucial players return before then, and we have a game against Liverpool away. Can we get revenge on the one of only 2 teams that have beaten Newcastle this season, or will it be a repeat? Will it be a double defeat? Adamana Lookman, 33 goals, the Premier League top scorer after his goals against Wolves, goals against Villa. He is 4 goals off breaking Erling Haaland's record, and it is a big, big game. One of the toughest tests Newcastle face this season, and one of the scariest, iconic away grounds to play at in the form of Anfield. It's not going to be easy, it's going to be tough. Newcastle riddled with injury. Bruno Guimaraes out for a month. Anthony Gordon out for a month. Fabian Cher out for a month. We've already navigated them. Sven Botman suspended for 1 match. Van der Ven very fatigued and needs a rest. He'll be out for 1 match. So the starting lineup for Newcastle looks fractured, looks fatigued today. A whole new starting back line for the first time they've played together today. Kieran Trippier and Dan Byrne. That's not the worry. Joe Willock starting his first ever Premier League match this season instead of Bruno Guimaraes. So it's going to be much asking tonight to beat this Liverpool side. But Newcastle have the quality. Newcastle have the players in attack. It's just about what they can do with the team. Injuries aren't an excuse, they're just a setback. It's Tino Livramento. Gakpo. Wow, Trippier's chasing it down. He's going to have a really good game. How many games has he got left in him? I don't know. Adamada Lookman lays it down to Alanga. Tries to beat his man. He couldn't beat him. Raham goes on. Good pressing by Newcastle. They'll still play their tactic. They'll still play with the same players, same intensity. Murphy's won it back. Lookman gives it away, and he's going to have to be He's going to have to show up today, Lookman, as he does so often, because he is going to be our main threat. No Guimaraes, no Gordon. Just so annoying that Newcastle ridiculed with injuries. It's not an excuse. It's Mo Salah. It's Ekitike. Still Ekitike. Joe Linton there. Hall there. Sanjo Tonali buries out. And here is Joe Willock with time and space. Offered to play in Lookman. Denied it on the gasp of space. It's Murphy. It's Joe Linton. It's Murphy again. Away from Ardemana Lookman. Joe Linton scaves it down. Bounces it down. Tonali. Willock! Oh! What a fabulous effort! His first PL start! He's proved all the doubters wrong! That is absolutely spectacular. You've seen one from Tino Livramento, you've seen one from the lot of them. The technique is picture perfect. Hang it in the louver, you've just beat the best goalkeeper in the world from 40 yards out. Too far for Joe Willock to think about it? I don't think so. It's a wonder super strike. His first Premier League goal this season after performing well in the Champions League. And he'll remember that one forever. And maybe Newcastle as well will remember that one forever. That is beautiful, caught of an hour in. The champions toppled by that. And Liverpool and Anfield silenced, and it's the perfect start. It's fabulous. I've seen hits like that this season. There's another one to hang in the louver in memorable moments this season. A crucial time, a crucial moment, riddled by injuries, but Joe Willock steps up to the plate, steps up to the table. It was an absolute brilliant strike. I saw him hitting it, I thought, don't you dare. But it's hit with such poise and power, swerving and dipping all the way to place. Alisson is rooted, Alisson is beaten. And a man who's only started in 3 matches this whole season, 2 Champions League and 1 Premier League, where has that come from? Bruno Guimaraes will be proudly looking on for that, as his replacement for now has just delivered a mighty blow to Manchester City, because Newcastle are well in this title race. Now it's Murphy. It's away from Ardemana Lookman. Gakpo trying to turn Bastino Livramento, couldn't. Alanga, Lookman. Alanga goes again. Alanga tips it in! Well, look! Alisson struggling, Liverpool struggling, applying the pressure Newcastle. Hall has a swing. The Liverpool throw-in. Hall wins it back. Joe Linton. Lookman. Willock, he did fancy it again almost. Hugo Ekitike. And Salah. Salah, Kirkes, Dan Burns there, he's giving it away, he's won it back again, Isak struggling. They've all been bumbled out the way in the end, but it's a free kick Newcastle. We've done really well in defence this game actually, considering the injuries. Murphy. It's a good floater to Joe Willock, and Alanga might run here. Oh, if Tino Livramento would have found him, it would have been quite clever. He has blocked off Gakpo for now. McAllister, Willock will chase Cody Gakpo. Oh, it's a bad challenge. That'll be a yellow card. Newcastle don't want to go down to 10 like they did in the Aston Villa match, eh? Ekitike. It looks a bit dangerous. Liverpool having a bit of a spell. Newcastle just have to be wary. We did lead Liverpool last game, but we lost. That's 1-1, Isak. Newcastle's vulnerabilities and fragilities just show through there. I've got to say, Liverpool had 5 minutes spent on the ball and Newcastle weren't aggressive enough, weren't committed enough. That ball to Isak was way too easy in the end. Tino Livramento gets done. It's a really good finish in the end. It's an excellent finish, I can't blame it. I can't blame it. And Newcastle haven't lost a game in so long. Let's hope today is not that day. Joe Linton now, and he certainly won't give up Newcastle. That's a foul, surely. Oh, he hasn't given it. He's in here. Alexis McAllister driving onwards. It's really good defending by Newcastle initially, you have to admit. What we don't want to happen is Ramsdale, Tonali, broke out so well. It's Lookman. It's Tonali. It was never going to be an easy game, this. Joelinton wins it back. That's not a foul. That's not a... Oh, why didn't he play on? It was Newcastle's foul in the end. I thought he was going to give it Liverpool's way. I was so shocked. Joelinton. Tino Livramento. Now Hall. Now Livramento. Newcastle trying to create something. Joelinton! His turn to line it up. It's half-time. It's 1-1 at a stalemate. And while a draw isn't shabby for Newcastle, considering the injuries, considering the fine form they're in, they want to win to try and push Manchester City to the very brink in what looks to be possibly a thrilling title race if Newcastle can manage it. Willock's on a yellow, but with 4 players that should be starting this game out, 6 in total, we're doing well. I think Liverpool have only had 1 real chance this game. We just got to stop them passing around the edge of our box so much. We've got to stop going so deep, if you know what I mean. It's a big half of this for Newcastle. It's a big half. Every game seems to be the biggest of the season for Newcastle. Ekitike trying the modern kickoff routine, a Paris Saint-Germain style. Murphy though. Adamada Lookman just tries to send Anthony Elanga on his way. And let's be honest, it was unlikely he was ever going to get that. Ekitike and Cody Gakpo. Willock snuffles it up. Elanga, Murphy, Adamada Lookman's on his merry way. Is there anyone for company? There's Murphy! Oh, it's saved. Tonali battling for it as McAllister. Trippier, who's not tall at all. Dan Burn against Ekitike. It's a big chance, 1v1. You're playing against one of the best keepers in the world. To understand why you didn't score it, it's very unlucky. McAllister, Salah! Offside. Newcastle survive. It's an open-ended game now. It's end-to-end if you think about it, which is not good for either team. It's probably better for Newcastle because the pace they have in attack. Willock, here's the pace. Here's the boy. He might have a bit of a run here. Oh, he's lost it. He just slowed down for some reason. I'm not sure why. There is 30 minutes to play. It's a crucial 30 minutes for Newcastle. When was the last time they lost a match? It could come today, though. It's Verts. Opportunity in. Isak's got another. And with 30 minutes to play, Newcastle may just be losing their first Premier League match since losing to Liverpool 2-1 right at the start of the season. By the same scoreline, I've got to say, he's got to do better to drop down the cross, Trippier. As soon as he gets that cross into Isak, as soon as he picks them out, there's trouble, there's danger. The touch is fine. Dan Burn, who's the much less agile and speedily centre-back, gets done. I've got to say, boys, it's frustrating when you have the injuries like this, I know. There shouldn't be any excuse, really. Newcastle just have to keep on going. They just have to keep on going with an hour play. They just need to keep attacking. They've got to find the space somewhere. They are 2-1 down at Anfield. It's can't get much harder than that. Murphy. Away by Alisson, and Trippier's never going to win that. Oh, he did well there. He won the free kick. Dan Burn. Joelinton. Willock! Another clearance by Addison. There's 20 minutes to play. Willock does really well. Tonali. Willock. Alanga, Jolinton! Well, with 20 minutes to go, it's slipping away. Newcastle haven't lost in so long. They're so close to losing. They're so close to losing for the first time in God knows how long. That's what happens when you have injuries, eh? We haven't lost since the second game of the season. We're now in February. Liverpool might be doing the double. And they might try to. Salah flicks it in. Gakpo. There's quarter of an hour left for Newcastle to save it or lose it. It's a crucial 15 minutes in this season. When was the last time I said to you guys that Newcastle lost a game? I don't know how we're going to win this. When was the last time Newcastle lost a game? It had to come eventually. You can't be invincible forever. You're invincible until you're invincible. It had to happen eventually. With the injuries piling up. Liverpool just play keep ball now. Five to play. Now, Newcastle escape. Of Lookman and Willock. Is he onside? Oh, he's missed it. I think Newcastle are going to lose now. That was it. Newcastle haven't lost in so long, but heartbreak for Newcastle. They've lost a game. For the first time in God knows how long, we lose. Liverpool score, they do the double over Newcastle, the only team to beat Newcastle twice this season. And with the injuries, you have to say it was coming. Heartbreak and heartbreak. I mean, I gotta say, listen, I could blame it on the injuries, I could give that excuse all day, but didn't take our chances. And Liverpool ripped us open in the second half. Newcastle, where does that leave them? It is only their third loss of the season. It is only their first loss since the start of the season. Felt untouchable, felt immune, immortal, but reality check, dished out, 3-1. Newcastle still in the title race, but we will probably end up being 6 points behind City next time we play our next Premier League match, which leaves the match against Manchester City even more crucial when we play them, if we can win the 2 games before them. For Newcastle, doesn't change much, still where they want to be, still in brilliant form, but it's just a minor setback really, with most of our regards. We are 6 points behind City, but in this stream, if we can win against Brentford and Spurs, then maybe City might have dropped points before then, and even if they don't, we can reduce the gap to 3 points if we can beat City next stream. It is very disappointing. You know, we missed a few chances. Liverpool a lot better in attack, but that's a loss. Liverpool do the double over us. That's the first time we've lost in God knows how long since we last played them. Should have took our chances. Should have been level. It is what it is, though. It is what it is. This stream could still go very well for Newcastle. They have 2 Premier League games left against Spurs and Brentford, which if they were to win would put them back on track. And of course they have a Carabao Cup semi-final second leg against Manchester City next, where they are already winning 2-0. If we were to see that out, we would reach the final. And of course, this is the big City game I'm on about. That comes next stream away from home at the Etihad. We've got 3 more games at least to play today, maybe 4. 2 Prem games, 2 domestic games, 1 Carabao Cup, 1 FA Cup. That loss against Liverpool was coming. Listen, we haven't lost in so long. We've been so good for so long, but in the end, it had to come eventually. It had to come eventually. You're untouchable until you're not. And it was a tough game, but it's a game we lost. First game, Rashim lost, and when was the last time you heard me say that? No matter how you say it, Brentford can still make up for it if they can win their last 4 games today. Big ask against City, Gillingham, Brentford, Spurs, but if we can win those 4 games, it will set up next stream very nicely. Semi-finals of the Carabao Cup against Manchester City, but with a 3-0 lead going into the second leg. You have to say Newcastle are very confident. Van der Ven and Botman back today. We could have done with them against Liverpool. Willock is unlucky in that game as he did so well to score that goal. But as it is, he will be playing today. So, here we go. St James's Park. A big game against City, to say the least. Because if we win this, like I said before, we will be going to the Carabao Cup final. We don't even need to win. We don't even need to draw. We can lose by 1 or 2 even if we had to. Because Newcastle United have a 3-0 lead. And as long as nothing stupid happens, as long as nothing out of my wildest dreams happen, we should win this game or go through to the final in whatever way possible. So just sit back and enjoy yourselves. This should be a good celebration time for Newcastle after that impressive first leg at the Etihad. So, listen boys, you just got to remain calm today. Get a goal or 2 if you can. I really think that 3-0 winning at City was so impressive. We just got to remain composed, really. Nothing silly, nothing stupid. 2 defenders back today. Well, Newcastle after heartbreaking 3-1 loss to Liverpool, it doesn't really affect him too much this season. They're still well on track what they want to do and what to achieve. They're still in the title race as long as they can win the last 2 games today and set up a City by next stream. Moving on from that, Newcastle ridiculed by injuries. They've got 2 players back today when Van der Ven and Botman. They're the semi-final of the Carabao Cup. They have a 3-0 lead, a priceless 3-0 lead against City, which at home in the second leg you think we cannot possibly throw away. We will play either Burnley or Everton in the Carabao Cup final if we can hold Manchester City today. Newcastle hunting, aiming for their first silverware of the season and the Carabao Cup. They are 1 game away from reaching the final and possibly winning that competition. So we could lose this game 2-0 and still go through to the final, so Newcastle just have to remain on their toes really. Nothing silly. And they go through. Joe Linton. Look at the turn! Well, he's hit the post. It's an early scare for City. Could have dragged them further and further. Could have finished the game, really. There's the post of Lookman. Shot that denies him. And Newcastle 4-goal lead so early on. Well, if we can win this game, it will put us in a good spot. This game isn't really high stakes. It is high stakes in terms of what it means getting to the final of the Carabao Cup, but because we already did the hard work in the first leg, Newcastle just have to chill out today and do their normal game, and they should go through. Lookman on the turn. Here is Anthony Elanga! Slides it in, and Newcastle in dreamland. Nicely for starters, nicely for these adoring St James's Park fans. They really are enjoying themselves. City being ripped again And Newcastle's aggregate lead grows to 4 now, only in the opening 10 minutes. It's glorious. City left in the dust and smoke and the ashes, as Newcastle simply cannot throw this lead away now. Surely the final is absolutely staring him in the face. Surely even a league. Oh, they're in again. City being ripped to shreds. Anthony Elanga. Been a fantastic start to this game, and well, if they can do this against City in the league next stream, they've got something going here. And a team that's first in the Premier League, you wonder how Newcastle ripped them up so easily. I'm unsure, to be honest. I'm very unsure how we ripped up City so easily, especially when they're top of the Premier League, or supposedly 6 points clear at the moment. Newcastle can be 3 points behind them at the very least if we can beat them next stream and remain this contest. But overall, I think there's Tonali and Elanga. Murphy 2 behind it. Well, just besides the injuries, with the team we have right now, just missing Gordon and Guimaraes as our main 2 players, we're still managing very well. It's those 2 defenders that we're missing against Liverpool that are now back today. That was the problem, really. Really missed them, but of course, final of the Carabao Cup, round 4 of the FA Cup, round of 16 Champions League, and 6 points behind in the Premier League. It's glorious. It's been a decently easy Carabao Cup run for Newcastle, a mix of good and hard. Played Plymouth Argyle and Oxford United in the first 2 games. Then played Aston Villa and now City in the last 2 games. But how we've orchestrated ourselves, how we've acted in this competition has been really good. That's 2 over from Murphy. You know, very dazzling performance against City at Etihad. It just gives us motivation, it just gives us confidence, and of course getting to the final of that competition, giving Newcastle silver. We are the holders of that competition, but we have only won 1 trophy in God knows how many decades, which was that trophy, so we would certainly not mind winning that one. The other positives, it would give us encouragement and good motivation for the rest of the season to have a go at the other 3 trophies on view. So, you know, a lot of positives. We will have Burnley or Everton in the final, so it should be a game we are the favourites in. So Newcastle have very good odds and chances of winning that final. Foden! It's been done by Botland, but he was offside anyway. Van der Ven. Elanga. Murphy. Joelinton just nicking in here. That just shows how determined Newcastle are. City, nothing to offer really. They've been outclassed, out-qualitied, outran, outdone, outpassed by Newcastle. They've been fantastic today, Newcastle. Hold on a minute, Foden's in. It is a goal. It is a goal. City reduced the 4-goal lead to a 3-goal lead, and finally they show up to the party. Newcastle, as far as besides what I was saying, I still agree that we still have an absolutely outclassed City. Been terrible in this tie, really. It's given Newcastle a much easier anticipated tie than I imagined. They still got to be careful, Newcastle, but they'll go again here for Anthony Elanga. He spotted Murphy. He spotted Adamada Lookman. Livramento scampering forward here. He's still got it. GD Donnarumma had a catch. I wouldn't mind beating City just anyway at St James's Park. Would give us encouragement. Ball's in the way. Oh wow. Looking further out. Murphy leads it on. He's on the floor now. A valiant effort to leave Willock aside. Lookman! He scares City to terror. And that's exactly why Adamada Lookman on the stroke of half time gets this place roaring and bouncing again. City further and further in disarray. Willock leading the charge, the pace and flair leads the charge. Newcastle leading this game 2-1. And the 4-goal cushion intact once more. It is that man again, it is Adamada Lookman. Whoever he goes, he's got the Midas touch. 5-1 on aggregate with half to play. Newcastle can almost touch the final. In fact, I'll go as far to say they are touching the final. This game was more of a filler, but you've got to play it. You've got to try and beat City to give you encouragement. And you've got to stop any wayward results. And how it feels to play Manchester City without anxiety, without terror, without worry, without being too careful, because you know that no matter how many they score, they won't be able to score 4. And Newcastle will get their own chances, and we certainly can't lose this game. So Doku just looks powerless, looks helpless, looks vulnerable, looks like nothing. And City have been outclassed against Newcastle, showing that Liverpool game was probably just a little blip because of the injuries. It's Jacob Murphy, Ashara the young man, still Ashara. Livramento, Alanga! Here he is! Deeper and deeper, the Mancunian peril. Adamada Lukman, unstoppable. Pinpoint like a dart, that attack was silky, impressive, champagne stuff. It's tiki-taka. Newcastle in a nutshell. Alanga rampaging on the left, shuffling out to the right. Donnarumma helpless as Lukman strokes it in. 6-1 in aggregate, and let's be honest, Newcastle have a 3-1 lead here at St James's Park. The quality game. It is a perfect performance by Newcastle. This is a perfect semi-final that they have showcased, from defence to attack, from minute 1 to 90, from minute 90 to 180. They've been perfect. Only the 1 goal conceded, the 6 scored. And every time they attack, City look absolutely helpless. Now here's Murphy. Arda Lukman's got the pace. Has he got the finish? Not quite the hat-trick. Donnarumma catches that one. Well, Newcastle looks to be back to their winning ways. Hit to Shara. Erling Haaland, who's been kept quiet in this tie. If he can do this against Manchester City in the Premier League game we've got against them in a month's time or less, would be quite an interesting title race. Oh, I mean, we've got a crack at it, boys. Next stream or the stream after, we will have a crack at silverware. We will have the Carabao Cup final against either Burnley or Everton. A massive chance to possibly win a trophy for this team, who certainly deserved it. Voltamada! Shara! Oh, looking for a Newcastle goal, the young boy. He dreamed of that one. It's wide. City cut to shreds every time Newcastle go in front. It's like five-a-side stuff. Just break through them so easily, without much effort. I mean, the question is where have City been in this semi-final? They're top of the Premier League by 6 points, right? They should be a good enough team. How they're getting so easily done by Newcastle? No say. Ramsdale saves that one from Haaland. It doesn't matter if that goes in or not, really. Apart from a bit of pride, but City's pride have been completely done here. I mean, I'm very impressed with how we played, of course, but I'm very puzzled by how bad City have played, considering where they are. Ashara. Lookman's on his merry way. He's got a man in the centre. He had 2 options to play a pass. He didn't play either. A bit selfish, must be said. Good pressing by Newcastle. It's another panic clearance, another wayward. Why not have a crack at Shara? Anyone can have a crack now. I don't care what anyone does. And as long as you don't get sent off, because realistically, we are flying. City, nothing. Even if we were drawing at the end of the first leg, even if it was 0-0, even if it was 3-3, Newcastle would still win the semi-final because they have ripped City to shreds 3-1 here. That just shows the difference in how these teams are played. Joe Linton. Ashara trying to make the run. Donnarumma. We've seen 6 goals go past him in the 2-legged tie. We're going to the final. We're going to the final. And now you're going to believe us, and now you're going to believe us, and now you're going to believe us. We're going to win it all. And the holders are going to get to a second successive final. Voltamada. Adamada Lukman. Van der Ven thinks it's party time. something about Liverpool that we can't deal with. Murphy wins the throw. Newcastle 8 minutes from being in the final. A final which they probably anticipated they would be in. Oh, Joe Linton's done his man. That's scathing here! It's Jacob Murphy! A driller, a screamer, a launcher, and in. Such a one-sided contest as Newcastle rip through City ranks like they're not even there. It is the cherry on the icing on the cake. The fireworks go off. Newcastle stretch their lead just to give a statement to City. We are coming for you in the league. Whether this is a separate competition or not, this game's not more about Newcastle being in the final. That was almost confirmed before the ball was kicked off. It's about City having a statement right on them that Newcastle are still going to be on them. The league game against City, that's going to be well awaited next stream, depending on how Newcastle do it the rest of the stream against Brentford, against Spurs, will be a big one. And that'll be up to the contest after doing the double over the City in the Carabao Cup. ripping the shreds, his botman, Voltamada, Ashara. Now they come again, and every time a lace on the stadium as Voltamada rises forward. Looking for the hat-trick, he gets it. Oh, it's brilliant. 5-1, it is 8-1 on aggregate. Masterclass, perfection. Is City's tormentor-in-chief. Just cascading nightmares on every single one of those players. Hear the roars, hear the celebrations. It's Newcastle United who are making City look like a lower league side. Even this game, we've done them. Where are ya? Who are ya? You always be at the end of the day. Money can't buy you happiness, City. I'm saying it a bit too prematurely. They've 6 points at the top of the Premier League, but Newcastle are going to have a well go at that as well. But the way we've dismantled City here is a highest class battering. Now it's Lookman, now it's Murphy. They go ahead again, one last time. Or maybe not. Maybe City have had enough of the battering. Maybe the ref will call it there, they will. Well, after that 3-1 loss against Liverpool, a 5-1 fantastic result against City. And we are in the final of the Carabao Cup and we will be playing Burnley. Interesting. Considering well, our next game against Brentford, we don't have to worry about the Carabao Cup anymore in the final of that. That'll be awaited next stream. And I don't think we'll be playing the Champions League to next stream as well, the round of 16 tie. Who will we be playing? Who have we drawn? Please someone easy. Hasn't shown me yet. The draw hasn't been done yet. So it seems like Manchester City will be our first game next stream. So we have 2 league games against Brentford and Tottenham. If we can win both of them, we can stay at least 6 points behind Manchester City, assuming they don't drop points themselves, and we have a massive game against them next stream. Our last game of stream will be the FA Cup Round 4 against Goodison. So by this end of the stream, we could be in a position of being in the FA Cup Round 5, of being in the Carabao Cup final, and being 6 points behind City, but with a game against them at the start next stream. We're already in the Carabao Cup final. Well, it ain't long until the big boys return as well, so this could come at a better time. Bruno Guimaraes back in 3 weeks. Anthony Gordon back in 3 weeks. Less than that. And a Share is back soon as well. So the big boys will be coming back soon. And don't you think I'm not starting Anthony Gordon over Jacob Murphy? I'm sorry. He's lost a bit of his potential, but Anthony Gordon will be starting over Jacob Murphy. Same with Guimaraes. Over my man. 2 big players to return at the end of the stream. After Brentford, after Spurs, and after Goodison. They are 3 games that I think we can just about navigate and manage, even with those injuries. That will put us in an unbelievable position next stream to be 6 points behind City with a game that to put us 3 points behind them if to win. The FA Cup Round 5, a Carabao Cup final. That's the position we could be in. But we have to navigate these games. Let's not think about the ifs and buts and what we would be in. We'll review that at the end of the stream. We now have Brentford at St James's Park in the early months of February. Not going to be an easy game, but I much prefer playing Brentford at home rather than the G-Tech. Last time we played against Brentford, it was a 1-1 draw. An 85th minute equaliser from Sandro Tonali saved our blushes there. I just think in that game, we are actually pretty poor in attack that game, which is a rarity. But let's see what we can do today. Guimaraes, Gordon and Cher still out, but Van der Ven, Botman will play. See, Anthony Gordon has been a massive miss. He did play quite a lot this season and he was a very good player. Always scored so many goals. He assisted Lookman so much. Lookman hasn't had a problem with scoring goals besides that, but he will be back by the end of this stream. Ademar Lookman, a hat-trick against Manchester City. He'll be here today looking to rack up his Premier League record in terms of goals and looking to inch nearer and nearer to Erling Haaland's 36-goal record. St James's Park, Newcastle United play against Brentford in a stratospheric, crucial game. Every game seems crucial now, as far as I say. If Newcastle win this, and Spurs, they will inch closer to City with a game against them at the Etihad next stream. And after that game, Anthony Gordon and Bruno Guimaraes, two massive hitters that performed so well in the first half of the season, who have been out for 3 months or so, will return. Guimaraes out for a few weeks. Gordon has been out for a few months. 1-1 draw last time against Brentford away from home, but in front of our beautiful, prosperous St James's Park, which is full of noise, atmosphere, optimism, you feel that despite the injuries of Anthony Gordon and Bruno Guimaraes, we can navigate this one. Why can't we? Willock. We don't want another slip-up. We do not want another slip-up like we had against Liverpool. Here's Elanga, really good threaded ball to him. And Newcastle aren't a stranger of good starts. Elanga just hits Lewis Potter, who didn't know much about it but stood in the way. Willock, well, Murphy's offside. Tonali. Joe Linton on the twist, on the turn. Murphy. Oh, Willock was just prowling in the area. It's Sharda, who was the main danger last time we played Brentford. We can't afford to drop more points today. Otherwise the title race might as well be done and dusted, because the difference between 9 points and 6 points is massive, especially with a game against them soon enough. Sandro Tonali nicks it away. Ademar Lookman, now the shirts go up. Now Newcastle burst forward with 1, 2 and 3 steps in their stride. Maybe more than that with Joe Linton. Maybe Lookman alongside! Kelleher repels. It's good. It's really good, boys. He's denied, the great man. Not so often denied, but he is there. Murphy. Oh, Joe Linton scampering up here. He's got another go! Having the look, had a hit. Kelleher repels for the second time in a matter of seconds. But there we go. There's the message of Lookman saying, I'm here. He might just be offside there. Lewis Hall. He's not! Oh, it's saved. No one was willing to get in there. It is 3 chances in a matter of quarter of an hour for Newcastle. Tonali. Joe Linton has a go! Well, Kelleher was just uncertain there, had to tip it over. And Newcastle with profound and consistent pressure in the opening 15 minutes. And it was that man who has only scored Newcastle's only corner this season. The likelihood of us getting another is scarce. Tonali. Joe Linton, Van der Ven. He somehow kept it in for some reason. And the pressure retained. It's Newcastle is smelling blood. Newcastle retaining every bit of pressure. Willock. Joe Linton. And for the first time in almost 20 minutes, Brentford get a bit of respite. It's a really good start. It's what we do so well this season. Even better with Gordon, even better with Guimaraes. We hunt forward, we high press, we win the aerial duels. And as soon as we get the ball, we're so persistent. That's not a foul, Willock. Elanga riding on. He's taking things forward. He somehow gets the cross in. Oh, I gotta say, Newcastle weren't expected to win that ball multiple times and they still did. There's another aerial win, and there's another player filling in. Murphy, Joe Linton, Ademar Lookman, Joe Willock. Turning and looking for options. Elanga, just a stray or 2 offside. I'm so impressed with our team has played this season. We are certainly overachieving just about what we can do against Brentford and Spurs. If we can win those 2 games, the next stream is set up massively well for Newcastle. Written in the stars for it. Gordon, Guimaraes return. Oh, we've navigated injuries this season, has been very positive. Joe Linton, not quite the area for him to hit. I don't think the ball was moving fast enough. Important. Every game's important in the title race now, though. Doesn't matter if you're playing bottom of the table, top of the table. Joe Linton. Murphy. Newcastle completely controlling the game, winning every duel. Brentford cannot answer with anything because they can't do it. They cannot keep the ball, they cannot suppress the pressure. Alanga with many riding forward. It's Tino Livramento. Alanga's got the pace, finds the rhythm himself. Kelleher just about nervously got across to tip it away. 30 minutes, Newcastle still all them. Boys, that is a problem though. If we are retaining pressure, if we are getting chance after chance, you've got to score eventually. I've seen this fairy tale football before. If you don't take your chances, soon the other team will get it themselves. Now it's a corner. Is there any point in me taking this? Oh, well, Joe Linton, great stop by Kelleher. Helped out on the line as well. Denali again, maybe change of fortunes. And again, Newcastle get the ball back. They cannot cope, Brentford. Joe Linton. It's a wrong ball. Jan out. Botman's having none of it. Brilliant, son. He's kept it in as well. Paul. Ramsdale, lovely pressure. All the pressure on Newcastle to score rather than defend. All the pressure on Brentford to stay in it. Tino Livramento riding forward. Alanga's just about staying on side because he's got the run. Is there anyone there? He'll fancy it. It's blocked. It's away by Joe Linton. Another aerial duel will probably be won by Newcastle. No. It's Sharda. If anyone was to come up with something for Brentford, it would be him. It would be he. Into the middle. Van der Ven is there. Willock. Now Gimrais. Lookman. Murphy. Just set away into third gear here. He's ignored the run of Lookman. He plays it in. Away from Anthony Alanga. Tonali juggling. Janout helping out. Mikkel Damsgaard. Who contends twice. Not the third time. First time Brentford have touched our box. You can't cause any danger though. Eager Thiago stopped Brentford despite being helpless in this half. Newcastle yet to get a goal. That's what we did in the reverse fixture against them at the G-Tech. We had so many chances, they weren't taken, and Brentford scored, and it led us slightly disarray. Just a bit of danger there. Tonali there. It's half time. It's 0-0. No panic yet. Plenty of time to go. Keep playing this. Newcastle will break the deadlock, but they've had plenty of moves, plenty of chances, and they haven't capitalised it really. There should be 1 or 2 up. Just let Brentford control the tempo in the last few minutes of that half as well. I'm gonna get Willock off for Voltamada. Apart from that, everyone else can stay on. It's a really important game that we don't drop points here. When we have Manchester City at the start next stream, in the position we're in, we have to get maximum points from this. Especially after that win against City. Now Newcastle will look to up the tempo again in this half and to keep the pressure on Brentford, to keep winning those duels, to keep getting those corners. Hear the roar from St. James's Park. That throw-in is one of the worst throws I've ever seen. That roar just shows the spur and the ambition these fans want. Adam and a Lookman turn by Van der Berg. And again, the aerial duel is won by Newcastle. However, this time, well, Sandro Tonali will be given a yellow. A very poor challenge. Here's Botman. Adamada Lookman shells away. Alanga. Jacob Murphy. And Hall rampaging here, scampering on the run, on the left. It is Lookman's door, it's away. Joe Linton tall, strong, he wins that. Voltamada. Alanga. Livramento. Cuts it in! Voltamada! Will it be he, the man who's not scored a goal for Newcastle this season? What a time to open the count and break the iron deadlock, the iron bars of Brentford. A composed pile driver nestled into the corner. Here the acceptance Hear the appreciation from the thousands of black and white fans towering below us. Nick Voltamada, his first goal in the Premier League this season after being subbed on 10 minutes ago. It's fairy tale stuff this, and it's vital in the title fight. With Manchester City just looking beyond the shoulder of the team who they'll be playing next stream at the Etihad. Hold on a minute here, Brentford going forward. Yanout just cuts across that wide. Well, Newcastle will still look to keep the pressure. Alanga trying to... Well, he's going to have a second go to go because Voltamada sent him in. He's in here. Volt, look him in on the middle. There's a few coming in as well. Alanga just teases, waits for the run of Tino Livramento. Go on, son. Here he is. Oh, the ball was just not perfect enough. Botman couldn't win the header. Tonali did. All hands on the deck, literally. Alanga, Murphy just snatches it. Lookman, Voltamada had a swing. And it's parried out. But it's another aerial header won by Newcastle. Brentford helpless. And they keep giving the ball away. Go on, Alanga. Go on, just get the second. Just take the pressure off us. He's just twisting and turning, looking for options. Patiency. Lookman, when will he join in on a party? What a turn! Oh, just shoot. Collins is getting back. For such a good striker, he's got to score there. After doing so well to get that chance. 25 minutes to play. That one hasn't been won by... Oh, what a save! Wow. A bit of a scare for Newcastle. Been so well up to now. Their deadlock defence has been broken there. A bit of a very big scare. They've done basically nothing, and Ramsdale to come into action there after a really good ball. And this is where Newcastle have to be careful. Joe Linton. Look at Van der Ven, the centre-back! He's in! The centre-back! He's going! They don't call him Usain Bolt for no reason. Van der Ven sets it back. Joe Linton, anyone wants it? It's going to be Alanga! Across the face and helplessly across with no one to attack it. But look at the pace from Mickey Van der Ven. He's a warrior, he's a soldier. Newcastle's boy. Voltamada, another header won by Newcastle. Brentford just can't cope. And as long as Newcastle don't do anything silly, they'll survive. But I don't feel comfortable being 1-0 up against Brentford. We need the second. I think Brentford will get a chance. I think there is a chance Brentford might score in this game still, despite the lack of the attacks they've had. I think that it's just inevitable. One goal isn't enough. One goal still makes it nervous. Oh, jeez. Lads, careful now, careful. Because Brentford just going into it. It's the worst case scenario if Brentford were to score. It'd be heartbreak. Kevin Schade. Botman around, Voltamada. Another goal would just settle thousands of nerves in here. Alanga. Tino Livramento. There's so many in the middle. We're across the face. Kavahim Kelleher, who rocks it clear. Van der Ven can win that header. Tonali had to win that. He's on a yellow after all. Voltamada. Lookman. Tonali. There is 8 minutes to go. 1-0. They've had one or two of their fair shares of winning games 1-0 this season, Newcastle. It's very dangerous. It's so dangerous. This could be heartbreak for Newcastle. Hopefully not, no. There is 5 minutes to go. What a resilient performance. They talk about how good our attack is this season. They talk about being the best attack in the league. We've got quite a few clean sheets this season, but here we go. This is the moment. Surely, Alanga pace. No one's going to stop him. Oh, it's a scramble. It's a mess. It's pantomime. There's 4 minutes to go. Voltamada, Alanga. One last go for Newcastle to seal the game. Otherwise, it'll be a very nervy last attack. Oh, please, no. Don't make it like this, Newcastle. 1-0's fine if you can hold it, but if you can't hold it, it's regretful. Collins, 90th minute. Total race relies on this, really. Livramento sliding. There's 2 minutes. Get him, stop him. Schade. It doesn't want to be like this. It doesn't. Sends it to the heavens, Tonali. Maybe Newcastle have one last flurry in their boots. Maybe they fancy their perfect ending. There always has to be a perfect ending. Voltemada! Luckman denied a point back. Dan Burn coming on. It's been brilliant by Newcastle. The resilient they defended, the lack of chances Brentford had has been so solidary, so compact from Newcastle. It will be the last kick of the match, the 95th minute. Newcastle have a corner. All they have to do is not let anything stupid happen and they will win. Oh, to crack it in. It's away from Joe Linton. That'll be full time surely. Alanga has it back. Oh, what a hit! And it skates wide and that'll be the last save, the last action. Newcastle 2 wins since the Liverpool loss at the start of the stream. The pressure is retained on Manchester City. They may still be 6 points behind Newcastle depending on what City have done in their match, but as long as the pressure is applied leading up to that ginormous game against City at the Etihad next stream, that's all that matters for Newcastle. They should have and could have scored a lot more in that game. It doesn't matter. They got the win. They deserved it. They got a good performance. Who cares? Their next game is a Premier League game once more against Tottenham Hotspur away from home. Last time we played Tottenham, we won 2-0, I think. Let's just see the table, how we're looking up. See if City dropped any points. Oh, they did. They did! Yes! Yes! Newcastle was 6 points behind City at the start of that Brentford game. And they are now only 4 points behind Manchester City. And you could say 4 points is a lot. No, it's not. No, it's not. If he can win the Tottenham game, then we will be 4 points behind Manchester City. And then we will have the game against Manchester City next stream. If we were to win against Manchester City, we would go in a 1 point radius behind them near the end of February. That's all I'm saying. That is crucial. We are certainly in this title race like you wouldn't believe it. Spurs at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium against Newcastle, who are away from home. Newcastle United, 2 wins out of 3. If they can win this game, the pressure is certainly on. Every game goes by gets more massive and massive as time goes on, as you realise how much pressure is being spun upon Manchester City and how the onus is on Newcastle to chase and chase and chase. And they're doing that, their form. It would be a Tottenham thing to take points from us today. It's our fourth game in the stream. Second to last game of the stream. If we can win this one, next stream will be set up very nicely. It's very important we win this one, though. Shame that Gordon and Gimrise don't come back till just after the City game, but who cares? Because at least the reinforcement arrives, whatever happens in that game.
All right there. A couple of easy knocks.
Adamada Luckman, he is brilliant. He is racking up the goals. He is just inching closer to Erling Haaland's record, as I always say. Well, playing against Tottenham, can we do the double over Spurs? Hopefully so, because if we can beat Spurs after City's slight slip up in the title race, Newcastle back in a grip of 4 points from City, and this game is almost as equally as important as the City game. A tight 1-0 win against Brentford and a 5-1 win against City in the Cup. It's a big game, this one. I think Newcastle will have too much power and pace for Spurs, but we'll see. Here's Murphy. When Gordon returns, he won't be on the wing for long. Pedro Porro just pokes across. Yeah, fair enough. Siemens. Oh, dangerous. It's Kudus. He ain't an easy man to stop. Oh, he just sends him on his way, Kudus. Well, it's wide. It's wide, but it should have been a penalty. I thought it was going to be a penalty. Butler not running into Kudus. Newcastle escaped a scare because the ref gave advantage. And, oh my word, and then we just about survived that. I cannot believe the ref didn't give a penalty. A really poor challenge by Botman. just let off the hook there. Here's Anthony Alanga just paving his way through the middle. Free kick to Newcastle near the edge of the box, and they've only scored 2 set pieces this season. They haven't scored a free kick this season. Can Sandro Tonali step up to the plate and break Newcastle's dreaded lack of set pieces? We'll see. It's going to have to be quite a bullet, isn't it? It's going to have to be quite a good one to beat him from here. I reckon Tonali just slams it. Oh, it's in the bar! Hit with velocity, hit with venom. Hit with some Tonali tickler. It tickles the post from Tonali. And that's just the story of Newcastle set pieces this season. So close yet so far. But that's just unlucky. It does pile the pressure on Spurs as looks forward towards Lookman. He's looking long. He's looking for Murphy. He might just not reach that. The pressure is on Vicario to clear. Willock retains it. He's won it! Oh, that's not a foul! That's not a foul! This ref is sketchy. Lookman had it there. Did it hit his hand? Maybe. Could have. If it didn't, he would have been in there. It's great determination and persistence from Armada Lookman. Here is Kudus. Hall just snatches it away from him. Murphy, Lookman. No one to play in for Lookman at the moment, apart from this is Joe Willock! He just about got it over Vicario, but he's fumbled it a bit. There's a corner. And Ali, do you want to do what you did in your free kick on the corner instead? Bun! Adds a bit of a height, but still with that height, Newcastle cannot score from a set piece. Here's Simons. Solanke, it's dealt with well by the Newcastle front line. It's Siemens though. It's blocked again. So good and authoritative from Newcastle. Lookman waits for the speed version. Alanga. He's on the run. Who's in the middle? It's Tino Livramento. Leaves it back. It's a bit of a scramble. Winner! It's a penalty. Advantage was given to the played. Petri Porro, the recipient. Only Newcastle's second penalty awards them this season. An earlier one against Wolves last stream. It was a scramble. It was a mess. I think it was a penalty in the end. I like this ref. Only 2 set pieces scored for Newcastle. A chance for the third. Artemada Lookman, 34 goals in the Premier League this season. He's hungry. He's proud and alright. And he did score that penalty against Wolves. How's his bullet? How's his bottle? Crucial moment. He'll line it up. He'll go for it. Ah, that's the boy. Dispatched and unlocked. 34 and still counting. But Artemada looks a bit of Haaland looking nervously over. And will he break it against City? It's a perfect, no-nonsense, imperative penalty. Looking for urgency. Yes! Come on! He can do everything, can't he? Wow. And they're in here though, Tottenham. It's 1-1, it's 1-0. It's looking slightly dangerous. Tino Livramento makes sure. It's a really good penalty. It was a penalty as well. He played advantage for Spurs at one end and he played advantage for us, but he gave the penalty to us. So I'm liking this referee. Hall has to get back. Maybe others as well. Good hands from Ramsdale as he scaves it forward. It's just too short by Lookman, just behind as well. Unlucky. He's feeling good about himself. Newcastle feeling good about themselves. This ref is sketchy. He's giving the most weirdest decisions I've ever seen. I'm liking it though. We lead 1-0 because of it. Oh, Lookman gets that after the free kick was all wrong, and now it's a free counter for Newcastle. Wasn't capitalised upon. Siemens. Ramsdale says anywhere will do, anywhere. But it does draw us back into danger. Botman timely on Javi Siemens. Ramsdale to Botman. Barely laid the glove wrong this season, Ramsdale. Unlucky Alanga. Destiny Adogi. Easy catch by Ramsdale. Alanga. Livramento and Lookman and Willock and Lookman. Alanga. Oh, Damada Lookman! Oh! So close to a beauty. He just let it drift wide a bit. Seaman, Solanke, there's a bit of danger here. Poro's rampaging up here with Botman alone. Solanke in the middle, others joining at the back stick. Seamans. Oh, he's there, he's the main threat. Damada. Alanga. Lookman from a stop still, he'll wait for numbers. How nonchalant is that? It's brilliant. And that was Alanga. And he might make the forward run here. Lookman! Scathed away by Febuary at the last. Crucial moment in the match. I don't know what Spurs are doing there. That'll be half time, 1-0. A penalty from Arda Lookman gave Newcastle the lead. Apart from that, they could have scored 1 or 2 more Newcastle, but saying that, Spurs also had their fair share, so just going to be slightly wary here, Newcastle. Tonali. Now it's Joe Linton, breaking at pace, potential danger, more than potential. You've got Alanga alongside, hits it well! Vicario there, just about away, it's Kieran Trippier. Oh, he's launched it in! Joe Linton! Oh, against the post, squeeze, just about, how did he manage that? All goes again, Kudus launches out with velocity, Botman behind. Livramento piles and keeps the pressure on. It's growing. That's perfect from Lookman. That's perfect. It's perfect. It's perfect. Oh! He's looking for the run of Joe Linton and sighted. It's Alanga. Nick Voltamada. Now it's Alanga. Now it's Tonali. Joe Linton. It's to shoot! Vicario with a fine save to stop a fine effort. Now Tonali's looks to be main man for Burn underneath it. Botman to Burn, both centre backs combining now. Give Joe Linton and just gave down the wing here. How has he found the gap? Often completes the art of the impossible. He's doing it here. 1 goal off equalling the Vikings tally. 1 goal off Norwegian history. Arda Lookman beats Vicario, gets Newcastle second, and gets 35 Premier League goals. And Newcastle have great grip on this game. Kudus. Still Kudus. He's put it back well. Livramento. Alanga. Livramento. Look at him, look at the space, look at the green grass to roam. There's acres of it. He might fancy his second goal for Newcastle. No, he drops it back. Lookman! Wow, wow, wow. He's a different being. Is he human? I don't think so. I really don't. He's a shining star. He's a glimmer of light. He is tearing apart this league. It's fantastic. The lead goes further and further. Nick Voltamada unselfish. He equals Erling Haaland's Premier League goals in a season record. He is 1 away from breaking it. He gets his hat-trick. And Manchester City looking nervously on for the showdown. Can he break it today? There's plenty of time for him to. There's plenty of time for him to break it. Alanga. Livramento. Alanga Lugman! Offside. Desperate to break that record, eh? He's been brilliant this season. I just need a bit of appreciation for him. He's been fantastic. He's been a much better striker than I expected. He's the best in the world. It's been a really good game by Newcastle overall. They've done well the second half to navigate that 1-0 lead. Here's Murphy against Porro. Madison. Tenaria, Solanke comes further out. Madison. Lookman only needs one more. He only needs one more. Can he get that one more? Well, he might. This is Murphy. Maybe it was written in the stars for him to get it in City against City. Maybe all the stars are lining up. It's a really good performance by Newcastle. There's nothing bad to say about this one. Will he do it with a header? It's over him. Another clean sheet coming Newcastle's way at the moment, as it stands. I will say Tottenham should have been awarded a penalty. We may have just cheaped Spurs a bit in this game, especially the first half, but, you know, that's the game. Voltemada. Adamada Lookman wants to get it! Now, why not? You're 3-0 up. Oh, Voltemada. He might be sent off here, Vidic Voltemada. No, it's a yellow, fair. Going to the final seconds now. Now. But does Lookman want it? He's certainly looking. Well, Newcastle win 3-0. They win their last two Premier League games. They just know how to pace a race. Manchester City looking nervously beyond their shoulder to Newcastle United, who are 4 points behind. And with a game against Manchester City next, especially after the 5-1, 8-1 battering on aggregate we dished out to them in the Carabao Cup, they will know that it is a massive, potentially priceless game of the season, which could decide the title race, could extend their lead to 7. Newcastle could go beyond to 1 point, depending on how it goes. And since that Liverpool loss, we have won 3 games since then. I'm going to call that there. We did play 6 games yesterday. I'm only supposed to do 5 a stream. And obviously, remember, I've just done 2 back-to-back streams as well. So, whether I'm not doing 5 or not today, I've done 4. I don't want to get too far ahead. And I've got streams to play. Well, hope you guys enjoyed the stream. Next stream is absolutely massive. We have Gillingham in the FA Cup round 4. We then have City in one of the games of our lives in the Premier League title race. And then we will have, well, let's see actually first. They're the only 2 games I've gotten up to. I'm waiting for my Champions League draw for a start. We are in the round of 16, right? Here we are. Where's the Champions League? That's playoff. Okay, so the draw hasn't been done yet. We did finish 5th. And and we didn't we didn't actually need to win that game against Barcelona. It appears everyone else absolutely flopped it. We might have just about been fine, but either way. Well, I hope you guys enjoyed the stream. It seems like next stream we'll be playing against City and a few league games. It's a massive stream, so don't miss it. I don't think my next FIFA stream will be at least until Thursday, possibly Friday, because of how many games I've played recently. I'll be having a Fortnite stream in about half an hour's time, mixed in with a Roblox stream. Tomorrow, we will probably do something similar as well, just skate away from the FIFA side for a little bit. Hope you guys having a good afternoon, stay out the sun. Have a good day, and I hope you guys enjoyed the stream. 3 wins and 1 loss. But most importantly, you realise that that was our first loss in God knows how long. See you guys next time. Enjoy. Goodbye, guys.